Hi students, in this video we are going to see about the limitations in exploiting the instruction level parallelism and thread level parallelism. Let us go to the topic. The limitations in exploiting the instruction level parallelisms included some of the practical limitations. So when we are executing a single instruction stream, there are some practical limitations are allowed with respect to the amount of instructions which are going to be executed. Okay, so with respect to the amount of instructions, that there are some practical limitations are observed. So for example, a issue processor which targets 4 instruction issues per clock cycle. Okay, so one multiple issue processor is there which issues the 4 instructions per clock cycle, and it has 8 stages in the instruction pipeline. So this is a one example. Assume that 15% of the executing instructions are branches and jumps, right? As I have already told in the previous videos itself, if you take one typical program, there will be a possibility of 15 to 20% of the instructions are considered as branches or jumps, right? So in the same way only, we assume 15% of executing instructions are branches or jumps, right? The processor would handle at one time 4 to 5 such instructions. So if it is the case, so the processor will be handling 4 to 5 such kind of instructions. So at that kind of predicted instruction, that means branches and jumps, multiple predicted branches would be executing one time. Okay, so multiple predicted branches will be executing at one time. So what at the case, there will be a resource conflict may occur, or there will be a data dependence will be occurring. So that's what implementing this kind of cases, implementing instruction level parallelism in the case of branches and jumps are felt difficulty. So there is some complication is observed when we are going to implement the predicted branch instructions, right? And one more issue is that multiple loads and stores would be in progress at one time. Okay, so there is another one limitation. What is that means? Multiple loads and stores, right? So when the variable is going to be loaded, and when the variable is going to be accessed from the main memory by different processors or many processors, means at that time multiple loads will happen. So this kind of multiple loads and stores also would be difficult in case of achieving the instruction level parallelisms. And dynamic scheduling would require a fairly large instruction window. So in case of dynamic scheduling, there will be one problem is that it requires a fairly large instruction word to maintain the issue rate at the targeted 4 instructions per clock cycle. So in this example, the dynamic scheduling will require a large instruction window that should contain the issue rate with the targeted 4 instruction, and this requires the associate memory and its control logic, which means an overhead in chip area and power consumption. Such overhead would increase with the window size. Okay, in turn, such increased overhead in aggressive pursuit of instruction level parallelism would adversely impact processor clock cycle speed with which is achievable for a given VLSI technology. So this is a one overhead is observed. No, why the overhead is observed means because of the window size. Because of the large window size, there is a one overhead is observed. So this overhead can be overcome or can be recovered with the advancement of VLSI technology, right? So this increased overhead also necessitates a large number of stalls which are executed in a pipelining, so as to limit the total delay per stage. So these are all the some of the issues happening in the instruction execution of and implementing the instruction level parallelisms. Then Next concept is thread level parallelism. We know the meaning of thread. Thread is one of the path of execution, right? Thread is different, program is different, task is different. So I have already posted in the previous video about multi-threading, multi-programming, multitasking, and processing, right? So I have shown the 4 different operating modes in a parallelism. What are those? Means it starts from the multi-processing and multi-programming, then multitasking. The 4th one is multi-threading. So this multi-threading, that means thread level parallelism, will be closely focused about the hardware which is supported and which is implemented in the system, right? So this kind of thread level parallelism will reduce the burden of dependencies with the hardware support within the processor. That's what the why the multi-threaded concepts have been introduced, means it reduces the burden of dependencies with the help of hardwares, right? And multi-threading will provide the processors with a pool of instructions in various stages of execution. Another one advantage of using thread level means this multi-threading concept will provide the processors with a pool of instructions. Okay, so it will give the list of instructions in various stages of execution. So the major benefit of this kind of designed hardware support in multi-threading is that the pipeline styles are effectively utilized. Okay, so here this the main benefit of this kind of multi-threaded is it reduces the it utilizes the pipeline stages in effectively. Right. So thus the hardware support for multi-threading becomes an important latency hiding technique. So that's what the multi-threading, which is supported by hardware, becomes a very important technique in the case of latency hiding. Right. So this, depending on the switching between the threads, there are 3 classifications have been derived. So what are those? Means first one is coarse grain multi-threading. From the name itself, coarse grain means more number of instructions will be followed. So it refers to the switching between the threads only on the occurrences of a major pipeline stall, right? So with this switching will be happening only on the occurrences of major pipeline stalls. What are the pipeline stalls? Which are heavily for the instruction, because it is dealt with the coarse grain. So coarse grain in the sense large number of instructions will be involved, right? So that's what it refers to the switching between the threads only on the occurrences of a major pipeline stalls, right? And second one is fine grain. Fine grain, from the name itself, fine grain is a smaller number of instructions at the parallelism, right? So it refers to switching between the threads on the occurrences of any pipeline stall which may be caused by, say, L1 catch miss, right? So this will be that switching will be occurring only on the occurrences of any pipeline stalls. And third one is coarse grain multi-threading. It refers to the machine instructions from 2 or more threads being parallel in each processor clock cycle. So the third one is coarse grain. So it will be it will refer 2 or more threads being parallel in each processor clock cycle, right? I hope you understand this video. I'll catch you in the next video about next topic. Thank you.